Alright, yet again, Dylan from GoldPayDirtReviews.com. And yet again, I have a bag of Gold Rush Paydirt from GoldRushPaydirt.com. So, in my last video you'll see, which was this bag here, I recovered no gold, and I'm under the assumption that it was a bag that had the pay dirt had been taken out of, or the bag had been opened, all the gold taken out of, then some different pay dirt added. But I won't know until I open this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right away to it. Let me just describe this first. This is pay dirt. It's supposed to all be from Vermont. No gold is supposed to be added, but they do guarantee gold. So, you know, I never know how that works out because, you know, unless they check every single bag, there'd be no way they know. But again, it's a 1 pound bag, $19.99 with free shipping. So grand total of $19.99. It is again from Vermont. Little description on the back and how to pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this one up, and I'll mention it again. You know, as much as I'm not a big fan of these bags, these coffee type bags, I know that the reason sellers do this is supposed to be so you can tell if it's been tampered with, i.e. if somebody opened it and took a gold out. But this seller, for whatever reason, puts tape on the very top of his bag, and as you can see, it was on both bags. And I'm guessing if, you know, you peeled off the tape, opened the bag, and then put a piece of tape back on, no one would be the wiser. So that's why I'm assuming this bag, all the gold had been taken out of. I won't really know again until I open this one, but I'm not a fan of this tape. I'm really against putting tape on a bag. If you put tape on a bag, it pretty much tells somebody that, you know, if you tamper with it, they won't know. So, especially on these types of bags, you know, they're supposed to be self-sealing and, you know, this and that. But unlike in the other bag, this one, the seal was still intact. Well, other than the larger rocks, which there's a lot of them in this bag, this material is the exact same as what was in the other bag. And again, I don't know if all the gold was taken out and they just put the exact same pay dirt back in. But, you know, this stuff is just full of little bitty pieces of tree branches and stuff like that. So, organics. So, but anyway, I'm going to go classify this down and I'll be right back. And we'll see if this Gold Rush Pay Dirt does better than the last Gold Rush Pay Dirt. So I'll be right back. Well, as you can see, this bag was much different than the other bag. But again, I will say, the texture of the bag, the little bitty things, you know, like this is all organics. This is the exact same as the last bag. Now the difference in this bag is, the last bag, almost all of it was under 30. In this bag, everything is in the over plus 10. Now I will say I'm really starting to question this seller's quality control and if the last bag was indeed all the gold removed. I won't know until the final tally. But when talking to him, I've emailed him twice, 2 separate occasions from 2 different email accounts. Both times he gave me the same reply, that all his pay dirt is classified down to 1/4 inch or below for easy panning. All this over 1/4 inch. I mean, you can see some of these are much bigger than 1/4 inch. And again, this is a bag that I don't know what to say about it. You know, I'm going to just, you know, it's so inconsistent to the other bag. I don't like the fact that they tape over it. You know, I don't like the fact that it's supposed to be all under 1/4 inch and you have things like this in there. But I guess I'll save my final review until the end. So I'm going to start panning out some stuff and see what I get. As you can see, yet again, found nothing. Over 10. Well, nothing. Some really big rocks and a big, huge piece of steel. I don't know. You can see that. But yeah. Put on some sandpaper just to see what it was. So obviously, again, quality control isn't very good. This is obviously over a 1/4 inch. I mean, I think this would fit through a 1-inch piece, a 1-inch screen. That's about it. They could probably, you know, same thing. I mean, it's just, obviously this Paydirt was not screened down to a 1/4 inch. The amount of rocks I found in it, and again, it's just full of twigs. I mean, and just all these are well over a 1/4 inch, so they would all have to be going in one direction to get through. So I don't know what to think again. So, but I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna do. I mean, I only have a little bit of Paydirt left since the majority of it was in the +10. I am gonna go do the under 10 over 20 now. Well, as you can see, common theme from yesterday's review as well as today is an empty pan. So, found nothing. So I will be moving on to the -20 over 30. I'm not going to go into this a lot. Again, it was just full of plant material, lots of pour off, tons and tons of twigs, clay, mud, no gold. Be right back. Well, if you were like me and hoping to see gold, like me, you'd be wrong. I'm disappointed. That's 7 pans in a row, no gold. 4 from the last review, 3 from this review. This is what I have left. So, let's see. Nothing magnetized. So far, the only thing that's magnetized in this whole thing has been that one giant hunk of steel that was in my bag. That was definitely over a 1/4 inch. So, I'll be right back and pan this out. I mean, this won't take long. So, I'll be right back, and this better have some gold in it. As you can see, 4 out of 4, 8 out of 8, nothing, nada, zilch. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I found absolutely no gold in all 4 categories. This is probably the most valuable thing I've found in the bag, and it's just a hunk of steel, which my son actually said he wants. I have no idea why, but so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this. I'm just going to go, and I'll be right back with my final thoughts in my review. Well, it's that time for my final thoughts in my review of GoldRushPaydirt.com. Again, this was their 1 pound bag. It was $19.99 with free shipping. I'm going to start by saying I got the same results as I did as the last bag, which I wasn't sure was actually their bag. This bag I know was. So, in either case, both bags showed 0 gold in it. So, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this seller. But I'm going to give them the final review. So here it is. For their Roy, they're getting a 0 because I found no gold whatsoever. Not even one little speck where I could say, you know, at least it's got gold, but, you know, you can't weigh it. The A-Roy, again, 0 gold. Now, the fun factor isn't just based on me finding gold, but I'm still going to give them a 0 for the simple fact that what they claim their Paydirt is, it isn't. First off, they say that it's screened down to a 1/4 inch, and the bag that I'm reviewing right now has not been screened down to a 1/4 inch, as you can see there. So, which is actually, that piece of steel is probably the most valuable thing that was in that bag. You know, since there was no gold, this hunk of metal, which is probably worth nothing either, it's worth more. So for their total value, it's again going to be a 0. The overall experience, I'm giving them a 2 because they did reply to some emails and they did actually ship me some Paydirt. But so that's that. Oh, and back to the fun factor too is let me say something about this too. Is they say that they screen it down to a 1/4 inch, and which makes it easy for beginners. This Paydirt is nothing for beginners. It's very hard pay dirt. One, when it's super dirty and full of clay and mud like that, it makes your water really cloud up and it makes it really hard to pan. Two, you have a lot of organic materials that float, which makes it even harder to pan. So this stuff is really not for beginners like they say it is. So that's another reason the fun factor ended up being a 0. So, but back to overall experience of the 2. Pay dirt description, I gave them a 6 because they do have some info. It's just not very much. For pay dirt quantity, I'm giving them a 6. And it would have been lower than that if I'd have known the previous bag was from them, in fact, and was untouched. But since I don't, this bag was short. But it's showing that there's a consistency problem maybe with their bags being short. You know, so I'm giving them a 6 just because of the fact that this one was very, you know, almost 3 ounces short. And when you're paying by the, you know, weight for something and there's no gold added, then you really need as much weight as you can get in a bag. So pay dirt packaging, I'm giving them a 6 because even though they use the coffee bags, they're not using self-sealing ones. So you can't have that thing, and they're not as thick as a typical coffee bag. So I'm going to give them more of a score of a Ziploc type bag. So they're going to get a 6. Now for customer service, again, I'm going to give them a 6. Now the first time I emailed them for this first bag, they replied right away for my 2 questions. So I had given, you know, they would have gotten a 10 in the last bag. Now for this bag, when I emailed them, it took them 2 days to reply. And then when I emailed him about the weights and showed him the video, again, it took him 2 days to reply. Now, he did offer to replace the bag for being short in weight, which I didn't take him up on, but he did offer me that. But then when I emailed him about it and about the tape on the top of the bag, he never replied to that email, and that was 7 days ago. So the emails are really slow, inconsistent, so I'm going to give him a 6 for customer service. Now for shipping, he gets a 10. This is the one where he was golden. You know, he shipped quick and he shipped for free, and you know, it was packaged well, so I can't complain. So in the end, GoldRushPaydirt.com is going to end with a score of 3.6. So that's that. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. I hope you comment. Share it. Do whatever you want. And hopefully I'll be back in a couple of days with another bag. Something else. So, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.